Hello everyone and welcome. In this video we'll be track testing and off-road testing the 2015 Buick Encore All-Wheel Drive Premium. This is a premium CUV from Buick featuring a 1.4 liter turbo i4 producing 138 horsepower, which I'll be comparing to the Land Rover Discovery Sport, Lexus NX, Mercedes GLA 250, and Volvo V60 Cross Country. Starting with the drawbacks, the Buick was the most lacking in performance in this category, was somewhat limited in cargo space, and doesn't have the towing capabilities of some of the other models. That said, it's the lightest weight car of the group, has the second best fuel economy, and is by far the lowest cost vehicle of those tested. Check out the video description for videos of the compared models. So checking for visibility, very good out the front and to the sides. One of the better visibilities out the front. And then checking blind spot, pretty good. And then looking out the rear, not too bad, especially when you put those headrests down. You do have a pretty large pillar there, so that could be slightly concerning, but overall visibility very good. Rear view mirror gives you plenty of visibility out the rear. You do have your controls here all on the steering wheel, all very similar to the Chevy Trax, which I reviewed. I will include a link in the video description. Now look at this cluster of buttons here. This is a bit complicated. You know, the Chevy Trax that I drove was far more simple than this, and this is just kind of cumbersome, not intuitive. You know, you look down at this and you've got all these simple white buttons and nothing really distinguishing itself from another, so you got to really take some time to figure out what you're looking at. So overall, I think they could make a simpler layout that's a bit easier to understand. Now, unlike the Chevy Trax, you do have your engine temp up here, and then you also have a full analog kind of speedometer as well as your tachometer on the left. Nice storage area down here, 2 cup holders. Actually, really nice parking brake, good smooth actuation. Your glove box. The seats are fairly comfortable. You do have 2 memory settings, a little firm. All right, let's get our acceleration run in here with the Buick Encore. Small little 1.4 liter, so we're not anticipating this to be all that exciting. Actually feels okay towards the higher RPMs. Once it gets up there, decent amount of pull. Oh no, our dinosaur friend has fallen over. Well, we will back up. And nice display to see the rear. Large. Actually, the resolution seems pretty good too. And lets us know when we get too close to the cones. So pretty good. Now we will go for the slalom portion of the test. I'm going to get my seat a little bit closer. And come in here. Actually not too bad. Fun to kind of rip around in this thing. Small and fairly agile. Somewhat impressive. There definitely was understeer, but not too bad. And that was from about 30, but regardless, braking was okay. I was just a bit impressed with kind of the nimbleness going through those cones. It was pretty fun to rip around in this thing. Okay, off-road testing in the Buick Encore. And I was actually driving on a gravel road before coming out here, and it was actually pretty responsive as far as turning, which was pretty surprising. It did pretty well on the track, and it's also doing pretty well out here. You know, this is a pretty light, small, nimble car, so it's fairly tossable and seems to be pretty capable. Go through a little mud here, and coming up in front of us, a little bit deeper mud. Travel through. Certainly no problem getting through that. Now coming up here, what I'll do is stop in this so we can see if from a stop it has any trouble getting traction to crawl out. So from a stop, and no problem at all. So no trouble for this Encore to go around in this kind of environment, which is nice. You know, if you need to be able to do that, you can get to a trailhead or something like that. So not too bad.